Welcome to the Rendezvous. Today I'm going to look at one of my old cameras that had sitting on the shelf over here, and I haven't talked too much about this camera on my channel here, but I thought I need to give it some credit. The camera is the Nikon D300s. It's a beast of a camera. It's heavy, fairly heavy, a little heavier than the D200, I guess. And it's got a 12.3 megapixels, which is more than the D200. And the ISO goes a little higher than the D200. And what it did, it replaced the D200. Nikon just upgraded the D200 and made this camera. And it does have some good features to it, and it does take nice pictures. And it's the reason I bought it is because at that time I thought that 2 more megapixels than the D200 was going to be a great deal, but nowadays that really didn't make a difference. Anyway, it's a nice camera, and I need to give it some credit because I have used it. I've taken landscape pictures, and I've done a few weddings with it, and it's always served me well. The thing is that, I just never fell in love with this camera like I did the D200. I don't know why, but I just didn't. And as a result, it sat on the shelf quite a bit and just sat there and gathered dust. So yesterday I got it off and dusted it off, and cleaned it up and thought, man, well, that's a pretty good camera. It looks nice. And I went out and shot a few shots and played with it a little bit. Then I got on my computer and started looking back through my files, and I found a lot of pictures that I'd taken that I forgot I took with this camera. And so I put together 12 of those pictures, and I put them on the computer and edited them, and they look pretty nice. And so I thought for today's video, I'm going to select one of those pictures, and we're going to put it on the printer and print it out and see how it looks. So I think that's what I'm going to do now, is just take a wander right over to my computer, and we'll get it all ready to print, and we'll film the whole process and see how it works. So yeah, without any more jabbering here, let's head on over to the computer and get it all going. All right, let's go. All right, here we are with the picture that we're going to be printing today. This picture was taken in an area in south central Alaska. It's called Hatcher's Pass. It's a beautiful area, a very popular recreational area. This particular location here is on I call it the back side of Hatcher Pass. It's a fairly off the road area, and not everyone comes to here. You can't drive there. The road is blocked off. You have to hike in. The road you see down on the lower right, that's an old mining road, and it goes up. There's a branch that you'll see cuts off to the right. That goes to a mine back in there. And then the road keeps coming around, headed up the hill through here. And right about here, you take a little path and you go up here to this area right here. That's also a path, and it comes up to this cabin and to viewpoints on around here. It's a pretty good hike, and it's not for the faint of heart, I guess you could say. I'd like to go up there again. I haven't been up there for quite some time, but it's a beautiful area. And if you go back in looking off of to the left, like from this ridge here, you have a wonderful view of McKinley, Mount McKinley, or Denali, I should say, off in the distance. It's huge from looking from here, and you have to be there on a nice day, though. On this day, I could see it, but it was kind of fogged or clouded in a little bit. You have to be there on a really nice day to see the mountain really well. And the sad thing is it rains a lot up here, so it's hard to pick a good day. This is about a 2 hour, well, for me anyway, it was a 2 hour hike. Anyway, I thought we'd print a picture of this today. This cabin here, abandoned, of course, no one ever stays there anymore. And I don't even know if it's still there. A lot of times these old abandoned cabins just suddenly burn down. I've seen that happen many times. And yeah, they just suddenly catch fire. So the mountains back here, this is all the Chugach Range mountains here in Alaska. Pretty sight from where I was at. And so, yeah, let's print this picture and let's get her on the printer. So, all right then, the next thing we're gonna do before we hit print on the printer is set up our printer. So down here is a little door that needs to be opened here. There's a paper tray that you pull out here, like so. And underneath here, for printing on this kind of paper, the heavier weight paper and the longer sheets, there's a little, up at the top of this opening right here, you'll see a gray bar. Well, you push in on that and it pops down like that. And you'll hear the printer figure out what you did and it'll make noises. Then you come around to the back of the printer and there's another little door in the back. So you open it up and raise up the paper tray here. From here, you insert your paper. This is the paper we'll be using right here. Cold pressed natural 13 by 19 paper. I've made sure to get the printed side up like this. So I slide it in back here. And if you watch up here, you'll see it come out up here. And you push in until that paper is accessible from the front. When it comes out the front, you take hold of the lead edge and slide it over to the right until it fits against the paper stop. Then you push in until it's flush. The lead edge is flush with this gray, the gray table. Once you've got that all taken care of, there's on the operating screen right here, there's a screen that is up, says load or guide, and I'm going to press load. When I do that, the paper will begin loading the paper. The printer will load the paper. You'll hear it thinking about everything right there. Now it has finished. Everything went well. So it tells me to open this, which I already have, but it also says be sure to close this. Once you get the paper loaded into the correct position, you just push that closed again. Now you're ready to print. This printer is all set up. So now we go back to the computer and we will press the start button. Now that the printer is all set up and the paper is loaded, it's a simple procedure. You go to File, in Photoshop, we're in Photoshop, so go to File, Print, and that brings up the printer setup screen, and I'm gonna bypass that for the moment and we will go to Print Settings. This is for the properties, so the things I'm going to check here, we'll go through them real quick. I'm going to make sure that the media type is set to the type of paper you have. I'm using cold pressed natural, so I select cold pressed natural out of this list right here. We're printing color and not black and white, so you leave it at color or click on color. Print quality is going to be just quality, not maximum quality, so put that to quality. The source, it means where is this paper going to be fed through the printer, and we are going to put front fine art setting. That's where I showed you how to load the paper. That was the fine art setting right there. There is others like sheet roll paper, poster board. You can feed all of that through this P800. And the paper size is going to be 13 by 19. We are not going to print borderless, and yes, we are going to have the print preview. Next, we go over here to page layout. Here we want to make sure that it says landscape and not portrait. Landscape is a horizontal format. Portrait is a vertical format. So we're doing the horizontal, so we keep landscape. The paper size is 13 by 19. And again, you have a lot of options there, but you just make sure that you have whatever type of size of paper you're using, make sure that is selected here. And output paper is going to be the same as what we're putting in. Get that all set, I go back to main and double check everything right here. Make sure we have it all the right settings, and then I'll click OK. That brings us to the printer setup. And on this one, you make sure that your printer is selected, the correct printer. And then make sure that you have this on Photoshop manages colors, not printer. That's the way I do it. Some people do it differently. I let Photoshop manage the colors. And the printer profile is going to be set to the same type of paper that you are using. So you have this huge list right here with all different kinds of options you can set. You just need to make sure that you have your paper selected. So we're doing cold press natural, and that's what we have here. Normal printing, not hard proofing, leave normal showing there. Rendering intent, there's a few options here. I'm not going to go into that. There's two main options, but I generally use relative colorimetric. And if you're just learning printing, you will get more into that as you learn. There is subtle differences between a couple of these, so it's up to you. You can experiment with it, I guess. I do not check black point compensation on this. So after this is all these settings are set the way you want them. You hit print. And that brings up the preview, and all I use this preview for is to check my paper size and the margins around it. This is 12 by 18 image, and the paper is 13 by 19, so that looks perfectly good to me. From there, we're just going to hit print, and the printer will begin printing. So I'm going to hit print, and then we're going to go back and watch the printer. All right, the printer is all set up, so let's get this show on the road. Let's print her out here and see what happens here. We got the printer set up, so here we go. Now I'm going to speed this up when we get, once we get a good start on this. I'll speed up the film here. It takes usually about three and a half minutes to print this. We'll get her going here good, and then we'll speed it up and come back. All right, there it is. Let's turn it around and see what it looks like right off the printer. colors came out pretty good on that. Great job. Great job, Brenner. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's take a look at the picture from this angle here. There's better light on it. I got a window shining on it here. So the colors look good as usual. And it's nice and sharp. The D300s, it takes good pictures. You know, this is a 12 megapixel picture and it's 12 by 18. You can't complain about that at all. Not at all. So that's such a pretty place up there. I need to go back. I don't know. Time's running out this summer, but maybe I'll try. I only seen 2 other people the whole time I was up there. It's just a quiet and lonely place, and it's just nice to be there and looking around at all the scenery you can see. So yeah, I'm glad I printed that out. Going into my collection. Set it over here. So I mentioned that I edited 12 pictures, including this one. I put them on a gallery that you can go and look at them if you'd like to. I'll put a link down below here in the description for that. And you can see all 12 pictures that I edited. I was going to put them all in this video, but it just makes it too long, so I'll just put them on the gallery. Thank you all for coming by today. You know, I'm glad I'm getting a few more followers, so I'm happy about that. Just hit the like button if you like it, and leave a comment. I really like the comments. So anyway, you guys all have a good week, and I will see you in another week with another video. Y'all take care now. Keep taking pictures too. Alrighty, bye.